Hello, everyone, and welcome to English 410 Technical Writing. I'm William Repetto, and I'll be your professor for the summer. I'm really excited to get this course started. I've done a few asynchronous online courses now here at University of Delaware, and they've all gone really, really well. So I'm excited to get started with this group. During this lecture, I just wanted to cover the syllabus and some expectations you might have for the course. So here it is. You'll see it starts with just a heading and a table of contents, and then some instructor information about me. So some things to note here is I have my email address listed. You're welcome to reach out anytime throughout this course to let me know about your needs or anything you want to get out of the course that maybe you're not getting. Reach out anytime, and you can also schedule student hours or office hours with me anytime you want by email as well. So my office or my desk right now is on Star Campus in a building called AP Bio. We can meet there. I can probably also arrange to meet in Memorial Hall. Or as you'll see here, I'm just generally around on campus, whether it's working with the research office or teaching or doing my own research. I'm always around, so we can always just find a place to meet if you need that. And if not, if you're not around campus this summer session, as I'm sure many of you are not, I can do any student hours by appointment as well. You'll see up in the heading, I have my personal Zoom room. And so reach out anytime. I really pride myself on being a teacher who's really accessible. And so if you're ever confused, lost, or even if you feel like you're doing really well and just want to figure out how to maximize your time in the course, please don't hesitate to reach out with any and all questions, comments, and concerns, as it says here. Just a little bit more about myself. This is a course that's developed around my own scholarly interest in technical and professional communication, and my own professional work in grant facilitation. As you heard me say a second ago, I work with the research office doing helping a lot of faculty members apply for grants. And so the dissertation that I'm working on right now, which will be to finish up my doctorate, is actually looking at non-academic writing in academic workplaces, including the really boring kind of technical stuff like meeting minutes and even syllabi, which we'll use as a little bit of a project in this course because syllabi are probably one of the most frequent pieces of technical writing that you've seen so far. And so we'll look at those kinds of examples. And while I know that a lot of you probably aren't looking to take up a career where technical writer will be your role, I do expect that a lot of you will encounter technical writing in your work life. And so no matter what you do with your career after University of Delaware, I hope this course will just give you some insight into the technical writing you might encounter and kind of maybe how to interpret it and how to produce it yourself if you're ever asked. And so just a description of the course, we'll start by just laying the foundation for what technical writing is. I have a philosophy that technical writing is surrounding us kind of all day, every day. And so we'll look at how that plays out. And then from there, we'll go into thinking about the different types of audiences that might encounter your technical writing. A big part of what I tend to think is that what we write should be really geared toward the audience, especially in a technical setting, rather than thinking about how we express ourselves. It'll be thinking about how the audience kind of needs to pick up information or details from us. From there, I want to go into some cool stuff that I think is going on in technical writing scholarship. I'll introduce you to some articles that lay out what's called the social justice turn. Another one on spatial orientations, and a last one on what's called hip-hop pedagogy, where I've developed kind of some fun pieces of homework we'll do around those topics. And then we'll also just kind of flesh all that out at the end, thinking about ethics, authenticity, and also the workplace. And then at the end of the course, we'll think even bigger. So we'll think beyond ourselves and our audiences and think about global genres and maybe where writing might be heading in the future. As I'm sure you've all seen, artificial intelligence is taking off, and I don't think anyone knows where it's going yet. So we'll think about that ourselves. Prerequisites, you should have taken English 110 before this course. I don't suspect you were able to enroll without taking it, so hopefully you've already done that. And then the delivery, again, you likely already know this, but will be online and asynchronous. So what I'm going to do is record lectures like this each week. and I'll put them on our Canvas site, so you can watch them right from there. But they'll also be on YouTube as well. Learning outcomes. This is just some things that I want you to come away from the course being comfortable doing. One, that's defining technical writing for yourself and where you see it going moving forward. I'd like you to be able to identify the myriad types of technical writing that one might encounter in daily life, which includes in the workplace and in public. I'd like you to understand how and why technical writing might be tailored, recycled, and reused. So again, like I mentioned, we're going to use the syllabus a little bit as a piece of technical writing to work with, and I'm hoping you'll have some chances there to recycle and reuse content, and to think about how using text from one place in another place can be allowed, where it's not a case of plagiarism, at least not in the technical writing atmosphere. Lastly, to conceptualize technical writing beyond the conventional understanding, which is that that technical writing seen as kind of this detached, neutral, coldly efficient kind of writing, and that part of that really is being able to approach technical writing tasks in kind of an open-minded and creative kind of way. So those should be your ideal outcomes. Here are our learning resources. Many of these you'll already know. I'm going to assign readings from a textbook, but to save you a little bit of money, I picked an open access online one. You can use it, you can view it right through your browser. You can also download it by PDF, but regardless, it'll be free and available, and I'll link it on each week's module. So you'll see the textbook linked, and then bullet points for which chapters I want you to read. Because we have a shortened semester, we're not going to be able to get through the entire book, which is okay, but I picked out some chapters that I think are really, really good. And otherwise, you'll see me kind of use other textbooks and other information in some of the lectures. I've always cited those in the comments on YouTube. And so if you want to track down where that information came from, you're more than welcome to. But just because we have the shortened summer course, I'm not going to overburden you with reading, where I think some of the stuff can be picked up relatively quickly through practice. Technology, Canvas, you already know this. Hopefully, if you're viewing this video, you've made it to Canvas. Zoom, like I said, for office hours, if you need them. I think probably everybody's familiar with Zoom now, but there are your links if you need them. In the final weeks of the course, like I said, we'll be thinking about ChatGPT. So you should be able to access that using your Google credentials through the university. I put a little disclaimer here. So if you decide to use ChatGPT before the final week, please let me know that you're using it, and submit along with any assignment you use it on documentation of your use, which would include the full text of the GPT interaction, and then also a short reflection on if it captured everything you wanted, and if you think it could be improved and anything like that. So if you use ChatGPT without the disclaimer and outside that final week, I'm going to consider that academic dishonesty. I do want you to put a little bit of work into the assignments, as you'll see. I haven't set the bar too high in this course. What I want to see is just a ton of effort out of you. And so please keep that in mind. But if you decide to cheat in this course, you'll be given a failing grade for the course. And I give this disclaimer every time, but I think I've only failed students who have come up with academic dishonesty problems in the course. So as long as you keep up on your work and don't cheat, I almost guarantee you'll be able to pass this course with no problem. Lastly, we'll use Canva, which is a free online design tool. I'm sure many of you have used it. If you're familiar with another piece of design software, you're allowed to use that for the assignment as well. Yeah, about I think the second week or the third week, we'll use Canva a little bit to tailor documents. So just keep an eye out for that assignment. Student hours, again, I already went over this, but yeah, if I get a lot of requests to meet for office hours, then what I'll do is I'll set up formal ones so we can all have kind of a more consistent time to meet. Lastly, the University Writing Center can offer assistance in this course. They have summer hours now, but if you go to their schedule on the website, you can see when tutors are available. So this is the learning assessment I was just talking about. So this is a little bit new for many of you. It's possible it's possible you haven't seen this kind of grading system, but what I'm going to use is called labor-based grading. And so instead of me trying to assess every single piece of work as whether or not it's a B or a C or a B minus or where it falls in between, I'm going to let you pick your own grade. But the way that you're going to do that is by producing a certain amount of deliverables per week. And I'll go over those deliverables in just a minute. But here's the rundown. If you want to see in this course, you can just do the discussion posts and the weekly assignments. Again, if you just do those two things, I will give you a C. I'll talk about completion in just a moment, but they must be done completely and fully. But if you do just those two things, you'll get a C. If you want to make it to the B tier, you have to do the discussion posts, the weekly assignments, and a weekly rationale. I'll post instructions for those weekly rationales each week, but the basics of it are outlined below in the syllabus. Basically, what did you learn? How did you learn it? And, are there any things you would add to the lesson? Things like that. So if you want to get to a B, you'll do those three things. And then for those of you who want to reach the A tier, you'll have to do all the discussion posts, all the weekly assignments, all the weekly rationales, plus a final project, which will be called the syllabus project. It'll be a culmination of a little bit of your work throughout the semester, but it'll also ask you to just kind of think creatively about yourself as an expert and develop a syllabus on your own. So you'll see me post instructions for that maybe in the second or third week of the course. There's just some other work I want you to do before we get to that so that you're in kind of the right frame of mind to complete it. So here's what I was talking about a second ago. The work in this course requires completion. So you're only going to see on Canvas a pass-fail designation on everything you do. But pass implies you follow the directions and the work appears to be well thought out, to be the product of a process of planning, composition, and revision, and to be indicative of an awareness of the themes of the course. And so with each assignment, you'll see like, hey, watch the lecture first, think about these things in the lecture. Sometimes I'll give you a link that brings you to another web page to give you some more things to think about. To get a complete on an assignment, I'm going to make sure that you really thought those things out, that you were looking at the detail, at the information presented to you, and that you really put that into the assignment. And so don't expect to get a passing grade or a completion if you're going to throw things together last second, if they're going to be only half done, if they're going to look really sloppy and not as a process of reflection and revision. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I've kept the barrier low in terms of passing and the fact that you only have to complete certain things to get to a particular grade tier. But this is one thing where the bar will be pretty high. Is to be considered complete, it has to be done really well. And so I'll even give you some instructions too on your discussion posts for things you can think about. And what I want you to do is really think about each question and how you want to explain it or present your perspective. It doesn't mean, on the other hand, that I'm not going to provide qualitative feedback. So like I said, instead of sitting there and thinking about if you're a B or you're a B minus, I'm just going to give you a ton of feedback based on my own experience as a technical writer, as a researcher, and as a teacher. And so you'll get lots of feedback on your work. You'll get a lot of congratulations when you do well. You'll get a lot of pointers when I see that things aren't going so well. So even though we're going to do it that way with the labor-based grading, it doesn't mean I'm just going to be clicking pass fail. I'll be there giving you a lot of comments as well on your delivered work. So here's an outline of those deliverables. First is discussion posts. So each week you'll get 3 lectures and they'll be tied to brief readings. Again, don't worry, I've kept the readings really short, so they shouldn't present rather any barrier to getting it done and tying it together with the lectures. So what I'll do after I upload those lectures and those readings, I'll post 3 discussion threads per week. And each one will pertain to what I presented. And so you should be making 3 comments on each thread. Your first post should be a conversation starter. So I'm sure you're kind of familiar with the comments on Canvas by now in your academic journey, but basically, your own thread that reflects on the post. And again, I'll give you instructions of what I'm looking for. Please try to get this one done by Friday. That way we have everyone's conversation starters available, because by Sunday, I want you to respond to 2 of your classmates. And so Again, you'll see on each post some instructions about responding as well. Just do them completely each week. And again, I'll give you a complete grade. So again, if we're thinking about that kind of higher bar to entry on the completion stuff, remember, a 1 or 2 sentence comment might not get you the complete grade you're looking for. And so really think in depth about what your colleagues have presented and try to present a really well fleshed out comment in response to their conversation starter. So again, that'll be three comments per week, 1 that you start your own discussion, and 2 where you're responding to others. After that, you'll have weekly assignments. Each week we'll have 2 assignments. I think 1 week maybe has 3. But basically, I'm going to ask you to produce different types of technical writing. These aren't going to be long essays or anything like that, but they will be things like instructions, things like maybe your own syllabus, as you've discerned from the previous comment. So these are just things to think about, and you'll have 2 each week. Those will be due by the end of Sunday. And so as you can see, our full course week is running kind of Monday to Sunday of each week, and I'll elaborate on that timeline in just a second. But weekly rationales. So again, if you want to get to the B tier or you're looking to get to the A tier, you're going to have to write an approximately 1-page rationale each week. Please do these single-spaced, and again, about 1 page. So these should reflect on the new concepts you learned. Did you discover a new way of thinking? You see a bunch of questions here. But basically what I want to see at the end of each week, and again, by Sunday. So if you do things early, you can always submit early. But what I want to see is just that you're aware of what's going on in the course, that you're reflecting on what you're learning, you're reflecting critically. You could even say what you liked about the assignments, what you liked about the discussions, and you can even say what you didn't like. As an instructor, I really pride myself on reflecting and responding to students' concerns. And so if I see what's not working as well, that can be awesome also. While I'm on that topic, just so you know, for the discussion posts, I also pride myself as an instructor on being really responsive to everything that's going on in the comments threads. So I've always gotten positive feedback that I'm the only professor people see really active in the discussions, but I'll be there usually like Monday to Wednesday each week. And again, I'll get into the timeline in just a second, but I'll be commenting with you. And so the earlier you get your posts up, the earlier I can respond to you as well. Whereas if you leave your assignments till Saturday or Sunday night, that'll give me less time to get back to you. And so just keep that in mind for the discussion posts. The people who are on top of things will get a lot more feedback from me. And then lastly is our syllabus project. For anyone who wants to get an A in the course, you'll have to create your own syllabus for a topic of your choosing. Again, I'll upload the instructions for it about halfway through the course, so I'm not going to go over everything here. But basically, I'm going to let you be your own expert and present a syllabus of your creation. And so here's our course calendar. I just want to go through this really quickly. Our first week, like I said, will be the foundations. We'll just think about what technical writing is and what makes something technical and how it surrounds us every day. Week 2, we're going to go into the writing process. And again, like I said, I really do want to think about audience analysis. Like, are we speaking to a bunch of experts? Are we speaking to a bunch of novices? And how might our writing or tone change throughout that? Week 3 is our new stuff in technical writing, the social justice turn, spatial orientations, and hip hop pedagogy. I'll give you articles that correspond to each of those to read, and then I'm going to give you some assignments that are a little bit different from what's presented in the articles because we have a shortened course, and some of this is for graduate students, but I'll condense it a little bit and make it easier to complete in a 5-week course instead of a full graduate seminar, which might take a little bit longer. Week 4, ethics and authentic authorship. This is a fun one. I always think to think about who you are and how that affects maybe how you write and particularly how you compose technical writing. And then lastly, like I said, we'll think globally, we'll go into genre studies, and we'll think about the future of writing. The only thing to note, I'll make new videos for all of these. The only ones that I'm going to reuse some old content is on these two early lectures. So if in those lectures I look a year younger and a little bit thinner, that's because that's the truth. They are from a year ago. So this stuff will be videos that already exist, but everything else I'll record new stuff. And the reason for that is once we get to the second week, I'll see what you tend to put on the discussion posts. I'll see what you tend to submit. And then I'll have things to really converse about with this group particularly. As you can tell, I haven't had any interaction with you yet. And so I want to get these lectures to you as quickly as I can. And, just uploading them here at the start will make it easiest for everyone. But everything else will be all new content, and it'll be reflective of what you all are producing in the course. This is your course policy document. You've probably seen this in every course you've been in, or at least I hope so, here at UD, just people outlining, what to expect policy-wise in a class. For me, these are like the big course-specific ones. This is a really condensed course. It's only 5 weeks. So you have to complete everything every week for the tier that you want to get a grade in. You can't skip a week because, to compare it to the fall semester, that would be like missing 3 weeks of class. And so every week, get everything in that you want to do and make sure you're consistent. For that same reason, late work really isn't going to be accepted. I've had some extraordinary cases online where people reached out. Again, you have my email. If anything big comes up, just feel free to reach out. But let me know, as far in advance as possible so that I'm not, worrying about you or, sitting around thinking you're ghosting the course or something like that. Last two, this is just about conduct violations on the discussion threads. That's where you'll be interacting with each other the most. Don't be a troll. Don't be harassing anyone. If you feel that that's happening to you, reach out to me and we'll square it away with the dean's office and community standards. But I don't expect that out of many of you. But please do not use it as a place to harass anyone. And this is just the schedule that I was talking about before. And, this I think is important for an asynchronous course where, you won't be seeing me a lot, but here's what I'll be doing in the background each week. So by Monday morning, you'll have all of your assignments for a week. Like I said, the whole week really is due by the following Sunday. The only exception is I'd prefer if you do a discussion starter by Friday night. So that everyone has something to respond to, and not everyone has to wait until Sunday night when you're scrambling. So everything's due Sunday with the exception of the discussion starter. Please get those done by Friday night. That gives everyone the weekend to respond. Monday through Wednesday is also on the other weeks 2 through 5, and then the week after is when I'll be assessing your work. And so each Monday through Wednesday, you'll start to see your grades pop up and all your comments, which again are mostly going to be, are all going to be pass fail, and then a ton of feedback. Thursdays and Fridays, I like to go through our discussion, our class discussions, and prepare my lectures to respond to what's going on in those. And so again, that'll happen Thursday and Friday. You might see me a little bit less on the discussion boards, but I'm going to do my best to get to just about everyone. And then Saturday really is when I'm going to record these lectures to get them up again by Monday the following week. And so that's kind of the schedule that I'll be looking to hit. That's what's going on in the background. But yeah, that kind of Monday to Wednesday is when I'll be most active on the discussion boards. So please, try to get stuff done earlier in the week in those assignments. But again, the other ones like the weekly assignments, the rationale, those will just be due by Sunday night. But yeah, the earlier in the week for the discussion, the better. Attendance, again, we don't have a lot of time, so missing a week would be a big deal. In this course, like I said, most stuff's due Sunday night, and so you have a full week to do everything. And so even, if you can't be online for a couple days at a time, you should still be all right. Of course, there's always exceptions. There's always excused absences. Please reach out, as far in advance as you can, particularly if, something like a religious celebration or something like that is going to interrupt your ability to complete things on time in this course. I can always work it out. But again, I just have to know in advance. So please keep that in mind. Communication, I'm going to be sending you messages through Canvas. I'll also send messages from my email address. Those are my preferred ways of connecting. If you need to be accommodated in some other way, you like an alternate mode of communication, again, reach out with your specific concerns. I really like to be an accessible instructor. And so if you need anything like that, just let me know. Student mental health and well-being is always a priority to me. Like I said a second ago, I do worry about my students when you all aren't submitting things at a particular time, or if your work starts to decline. I really start to worry, and so well-being is a top priority for me. You can reach out to me if you're struggling with anything at all. If not, if it's something more serious, you have all of these resources available to you, including the counseling center, the crisis text line, and the Division of Student Life. So please, if anything comes up, you can let me know, and I can also refer you to these resources as needed. But don't leave me here to worry. Please be communicative, and I'll do everything I can for you. Academic integrity, please, again, don't cheat. I think I said it already, but again, I think the only people who really have failed my course are people who just cheat or just don't do their work at all. And so as long as you're putting forward some effort, you're giving me something to grade, something to give feedback on, you're going to be just fine as long as it's original. And so again, here's kind of the process for that. We have academic integrity policies, and we have student conducts. And that's where anything I see like that is going to go. So again, please just put in some original creative work, and you're going to be all right. I have a harassment and discrimination policy that comes from the university. You have all of the rights allowed to you by the university in this course concerning harassment and discrimination. If you feel like someone's harassing you, whether it's on the discussion boards, your Canvas inbox, if you feel like I'm unnecessarily discriminating, you have all sorts of ways to reach out and report it. Ideally, if I've done everything right with the labor-based grading, there's no real way for me to have bias. It's just going to be based on you completing the work. So, ideally, again, we don't have anything like that come up. But if anything does, you have all of your resources here, including Ethics Point, which will kind of trigger a more formal investigation of what's going on. Faculty statement on disclosures of instances of sexual misconduct. Yeah, everything, if anything like this happens in our course, or if you disclose it to me, anything concerning sexual violence, harassment, domestic violence, stalking, anything like that, I have to report it to the Title IX coordinator. And, I think they're there to help you out as well. So there's also a web page here. If you feel like anything like that is going on in the course, or anything related to the course, you have your resources available there. Students with disabilities, I really commit myself to a pedagogy that doesn't have barriers to access. And so, each week really has added time because you have 7 full days to complete the work. And again, the labor-based grading kind of levels the playing field. So again, as long as you're putting forth your best effort, your most creative work, your most original work, you should be just fine. But if I'm failing you on the basis of any of those things, like if I am creating barriers to access, you can reach out to me first, please, and I'll try to rectify it as best I can. But if you think your needs really aren't being looked out for, there's the DSS website and all their contact info. And again, this is just a non-discrimination policy from the university. So I commit myself by working here to not discriminate on any of these bases that are called protected statuses. So again, if I've done the labor-based grading right, and if I'm responding authentically and as quickly as I can to your discussion posts, I don't think we'll have any problems in this course with anything. But there you are. That's the full syllabus. Again, really looking forward to get started with this group, and I'll look forward to your discussions on Canvas. Thanks, everyone. Bye.